Watch carefully. The sailor's smile suddenly froze. 400 meters ahead of the cruise ship, a giant iceberg appeared. The sailor immediately called to report it. The first officer quickly issued a command to steer the ship. The helmsman, frightened, panicked, and mistakenly turned in the wrong direction. He mistakenly turned the helm fully to the left. By the time he realized his mistake, it was already too late. The first officer ordered an emergency stop and reverse thrust, but the frantic operation could not reduce the speed quickly enough. Despite all efforts, the massive size of the cruise ship and its momentum made it impossible to change course immediately. The ship was heading straight for the iceberg. Some crew members desperately wished they could push the ship away with their own strength. The first officer kept a close eye on the machinery, which was still running. Finally, the cruise ship managed to turn, narrowly avoiding a head-on collision. However, the ship's left side still scraped against a corner of the iceberg, causing a violent jolt that woke passengers from their sleep. Seawater poured into the sealed compartments as steel plates gave way. The crystal chandeliers on the ceiling shook continuously. Even the boiler room was quickly flooded. The first officer immediately ordered the watertight doors to be closed. Workers fled in panic. The ship came to a stop as the captain ordered all engines to be shut down. By this time, water was slowly seeping into the third-class cabins. People, unaware of the situation, began rushing to escape. Passengers in second-class cabins were still clueless about what had happened. The ship's designer opened the plans and declared that 5 compartments were already flooded. The ship would inevitably sink. Even with pumping efforts, there was no stopping it. This massive ship had at most 2 hours before it would completely submerge. There were 2,224 people on board, but the lifeboats could only accommodate half of them. The captain ordered everyone to put on life jackets and sent out distress signals. Unfortunately, only one ship responded, and it would take 4 hours to arrive. The passengers and crew could only rely on their own efforts to save as many lives as possible. Crew members launched fireworks as distress signals, but children mistook them for beautiful fireworks displays, unaware of the life-threatening danger. The crew lowered all the lifeboats, prioritizing women and children from the first-class cabins. Even under these circumstances, some wealthy passengers hesitated, worrying about overcrowding on the lifeboats. Meanwhile, third-class passengers, though wearing life jackets, were locked behind gates and could only wait as the last priority. Lifeboats designed to hold 65 people departed with as few as 20 passengers, and some even left with just 12. This drastically reduced the chances of survival for those remaining. When the gates for the third-class passengers finally opened, only a small exit was provided, and just 2 people were allowed to pass at a time. Men selflessly gave up their spots for elderly passengers and children, leading to conflicts with guards outside. Desperate to escape, some passengers clashed with the crew. The crew, wielding axes, violently suppressed the chaos. Some escape doors were slammed shut again, leaving people stuck at the exits. The crew continued loading lifeboats, which were soon full. Some desperate passengers were even pushed off the boats. To maintain order, crew members used guns and iron rods to keep others from climbing aboard. In the chaos, a man secretly boarded a lifeboat meant for women and children. The first officer noticed, but still allowed the boat to be lowered, giving the man a chance to survive. But for those left behind, what could they do? Would this so-called unsinkable cruise ship meet its end? On April 10th, 1912, the Titanic embarked on its ill-fated voyage. Subscribe for more videos.